Excellencies, distinguished guests from the Prem Rawat Foundation, the National Council of Women, and dear colleagues from UNDP, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Nations. This is a very special gathering in honor of the support provided by the Prem Rawat Foundation to the United Nations Development Program's Community Water Initiative in Ghana and the National Council of Women of the United States Water Well Project in Ghana. This is an important occasion for several reasons. For those of us working with the United Nations family, the issue of public-private partnerships is very much on our agenda. The support from the Prem Rawat Foundation to both my program and to our colleagues from the National Council of Women is the kind of partnering that demonstrates the power of working together and just how much we can accomplish when we are aligned behind an inspiring vision of how the world can be a better place. Today is also important because you're going to hear from several people who will not only inform you in terms of exciting projects at the community level, but also inspire you in terms of their commitment to peace and humanity. I'm very pleased that Prem Rawat, the founder of the Prem Rawat Foundation, as well as the president of the Prem Rawat Foundation, the head of the United Nations Development Program's Capacity Development Group, and the head of the Global Environment Facilities Small Grants Program, along with the president of the National Council of Women of the U.S., are with us this afternoon. Thanks to the generous support of the Prem Rawat Foundation, I am pleased to announce that United Nations Development Program's Community Water Initiative will bring water and sanitation services to thousands of poor children and families in Ghana. In the rural areas of Ghana, only half of the population have access to potable water, and only 1/4 of the population has access to a household latrine. The infant mortality rate is very high. 57 children for every 1,000 who are born alive die before reaching the age 5, and this is largely caused by water-related diseases. TPRF's funds will target the population in the most impoverished and underserved areas of Ghana with basic water and sanitation services. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the Prem Rawat Foundation for your kind and generous support. Thank you very much. And now, it is my privilege to invite to the podium the President of the National Council of Women of the United States, Mary Singletary. Ms. Singletary has distinguished herself through excellent leadership in her professional and educational endeavors and through her concern for the social, political, and economic progress of women. She has served proudly as a leader in the family planning and advancement of business and professional women, locally, nationally, and internationally. She served as president of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club and the National Family Planning and Reproductive Health Association. Ms. Singletary's volunteer service and community involvements are wide and diverse. Among her many endeavors, she is the United Nations representative for the National Council of Women USA, International Council of Women, National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs, and International Coordination for Women. Ms. Singletary has received significant recognition and honors for distinguished service regarding women's issues and concerns. Recently, she was awarded the Daisy S. George Award for Distinguished United Nations and International Community Service. Please help me welcome Mary Singletary.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Sometimes you wonder if people are talking about you or someone else. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here this afternoon. And I'd like to thank the Prem Rawat Foundation and the United Nations Development Program for inviting me to be here on behalf of the National Council of Women of the United States, and for joining with us to bring clean water to the families in West Africa, especially Ghana. And I want to thank all of the contributors, the board, and of course our leader, Prem Rawat, on behalf of the women, the babies, the children, and families who will have a healthier life due to your humanitarian generosity. And we, the National Council of Women of the United States, thank you for your support. Thank you very much.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce Prem Rawat. A few words. Prem Rawat has been traveling for 40 years, inspiring people around the world to find peace within. He returned just a few days ago from a 6-week tour in India where more than 1.7 million people came to hear him speak. He is known to many by the honorary title Maharaji. Born in India, he was only 3 years old when he would speak at events held by his father, a reputed teacher. He was only 4 years old when his first address was published. Throughout his childhood, he would attend school during the week and speak during weekends at these events held by his father. At the age of 8, he accepted the responsibility to bring a message of hope and peace to people around the world. He rapidly started attracting large audiences, and he was invited to come to speak in London and Los Angeles. Soon invitations to speak became pouring from nearly every continent. People who listen to him say that his message is more than words, and express finding through his words profound inspiration and fresh insights on life. During the past 40 years, he has addressed audiences in over 50 countries and 250 cities worldwide. From the Sydney Opera House to London's Royal Albert Hall, from New York's Lincoln Center to the United Nations Conference Center in Bangkok, and to small villages in India and Africa. His message of peace is appreciated by people from all walks of life. He was recently invited by the United Nations Association of Malaysia to address a distinguished audience of government, political, and civic leaders in Kuala Lumpur. United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan sent his best wishes for this event called Peace is Possible. It is befitting that today he would be speaking in this magnificent hall in New York at the headquarters of the United Nations to honor the support provided by his foundation to our Community Water Initiative and the National Council of Women's Wells Project in Ghana. The Prem Rawat Foundation spearheads and supports significant humanitarian initiatives that help provide people with such basic necessities as nutritious food, clean water, and eye care. In northern India, volunteer ophthalmologists and optometrists regularly provide thousands of free medical vision consultations. Last year alone, the support provided by his foundation has allowed distribution of many millions of free meals to people in need in several countries. In recognition of his work for peace, he has been awarded the keys to many cities and has received commendation from numerous government officials and civic leaders. Would you please now join me in welcoming Prem Rawat.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to talk to you about something that is maybe a little bit different, but very familiar. And what I'm talking about here is peace. Perspectives are sometimes necessary to be synchronized. Let me begin by telling you a little story. After a long, hard day, the sergeant and lieutenant finally came back, lay down, and were getting ready to go to sleep when the sergeant looked up and said, "Lieutenant, what do you see?" Lieutenant looked up and said, "I see the heavens. I see stars that no longer exist, but the light is still traveling. I see the magnificent drama of nature unfolding itself in these beautiful, beautiful lit skies. Sergeant, what do you see?" And the sergeant said, "Sir, I see that somebody stole our tent." So, it really becomes a question of what it is. For me, and this is a personal quest, that there is an importance of peace. A peace not of consequences, but a personal peace, an individual peace for every single human being on the face of this earth. People want to stop wars. People want to stop conflicts. But nobody addresses the individual, from where the peace has to begin before one can even imagine or dream of stopping the wars and the conflicts that exist in this world. Who are we? What are we? We live on this planet Earth. It's unique. We have an incredible place in the neighborhood. We have luxuries. We really do. And we have an opportunity to do something so unique on the face of this earth that it cannot even be imagined. We, all of us, on the face of this earth, I mean, what have we got? The most incredible planet around. That's what we've got. This is what we have got. This is what we have been given. And yet, it is so sad to see that people don't have clean water. When in this world, that's what rains down. Nature, in its infinite wisdom, says that is what you need. You need clean water. You need food. You need the sun. You need the earth. You need air to breathe. These are the things you, I, everyone need. And these are easy to see and obvious. But placed in the heart of every human being is also a want, a wish. A wish to be content. A wish to be in peace. After, the food. Food is important, but so is peace. Water is important, but so is peace. Clean air is important, but so is peace. And all the things that we need to strive for, those basic necessities are important, but so is peace. Because without that peace, you can see it again and again and again. Whatever structures are built, they crumble. The fighting decimates It's a disease. These conflicts, they're a disease. Just like any disease, anybody who's involved in them, it kills. It kills. And you're never the same afterwards. And the only solution does not come from words, does not come from ideas, does not come from debate, but the solution comes from within the heart of every single human being. This is our humanity. This is who we are. One of the examples that I recently gave in Barcelona was like an alligator, like a fierce crocodile, that on one hand has this jaw that can tear an elephant apart. The same jaw, the same teeth are used gingerly to pick up its babies and transport them to safety. The same minds that can put man on moon, the same minds that can put man on moon, can those same minds not change the condition of those poor people in this world who so desperately need those simple things in their lives? Not luxuries. Just recently, we have a Food for People project in Ranchi, India. Bantoli, India, actually. A little village on the outskirts, tribal land, poorest kids you can possibly imagine. And Prem Rawat Foundation just opened up a Food for People program there so that they can be given hot meals. I could see in their eyes a thankfulness that is unique. They didn't do anything to deserve this. They didn't run a marathon. They didn't have a diploma. But somebody came in their neighborhood and gave them an opportunity to have some food that they obviously thought was tasty, because the first day they were back in line with empty plates. More. When you understand what this humanity is about, when you understand that there is a cry from within every single person that has been there since time immemorial, wanting to reach, wanting to say, let there be peace. Personal peace. Individual peace. Peace for every human being felt. And what kind of peace am I talking about? I am talking about the peace that can be felt on a battlefield. I am talking about a peace that can be felt in a prison. That's the peace I'm talking about. Last year, I was in a prison, addressing some people. It was very sweet. I'm not a judge. The judge has done his job, and of course they've been incarcerated, but they're human beings. So I went to see them. They invited me. And to see the peace dance in the eyes of these people. Hey, we take so many things for granted. They don't have it. You think they decide when they get up? You think they decide when they go to sleep? They decide what they're going to eat today? And I tell you, here they are in a place where not one single one would like to be. If the wall fell down, they'd be all out of there. And I'm sure that on more than one occasion, they have talked about or thought about pulling that wall down. You think this person can have peace? You see, there is one formula that people have of what they define it as peace. In their formula, it is the end of wars. Every neighbor is neighborly. No road rages. Everybody gets along with everybody. This is peace. As spoken was by a very wise customs officer. When I was on my way back from Canada to America one time, the customs officer asked me, "Where are you coming from?" Canada. "What were you doing there?" I was talking about peace. They said, "Forget it. There cannot be peace. So far, people keep doing what they're doing. There can be no peace." And I was very quiet. Because you do not argue with a customs officer. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. Is it just a dream? Personal peace is just a dream? A concept? An idea? Or is it a reality? Can it happen? I'm just going to ask the question. I'm not going to give the answer. Why? Listen to this then. The answer is within you. Ask yourself that question. Is there something more to you than the sum of all that you see? Is there something more to you than the sum of everything you project? Somebody just recently asked me, "What is your name?" I said, "Me." He said, no, really, what's your name?" I said, no, me. He said, "Now come on, what's on the passport?" I said, "Prem Rawat." I said, "Let me explain something to you. This is all a question of nicety." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Oh, let me explain. I'm in a building, and I'm Prem Rawat. I've got my badge, I've got my this, and I'm this, and people are coming down, Prem Rawat, Prem Rawat, Prem Rawat, Prem Rawat, Prem Rawat, Prem Rawat, everywhere Prem Rawat." Then the earthquake hits. And the building shakes. And it falls down. And I find myself quite alive, but trapped. I hear some people outside. And I know they're the rescuers. I think you get my point. And the voice comes, not "Help Prem Rawat." Help me. All of a sudden, I have switched to me. Because all those things that I project all day long, that I tend to be all day long, that this is who I am, all of a sudden all disappear. When I like to go in public, I like to be very presentable. I have my tie, I have my jacket, I look in the mirror before I leave, and everything is good. When I am in that condition, I don't really care. Just come and get me. Even if I'm half naked, just come and get me. Help me. Relationships change. And that relationship that you need to have with yourself, A relationship of reality, relationship built on fact, not fiction. Relationship built on bricks that you can hold in your hand, not dreams and imaginations in midair. And that is called experience. Not theory, experience. We could sit here and imagine all this water being made available to people. But as I was hearing about this, my mouth started watering. Because when a thirsty person gets good, clean water in their mouth, it is automatically sweet. It just is. Sweet, without sugar. It becomes sweet. The experience of peace also has a very sweet taste in this life. We try to be good and we say, let me resolve all my problems. But here's an analogy. The baby is crying and the mother is saying, don't cry. And the baby keeps crying and the mother says, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And the baby keeps on crying. Are you surprised? You surprised? No, that's how it's going to be. The baby is going to keep on crying till the problem has been resolved. And when the problem has been resolved, the baby will stop and the baby will in fact start cooing. Let's for a minute think cooing is peace. People feeling something real within them. Not something that has been created, but something inherent to every human being on the face of this earth. A man said to me, I am poor, I'm uneducated, and I am old. You think I could have peace? And I said, of course. Of course you can have peace. After that, I started thinking, this man holds 3 strikes against him. 1, he thinks he's old. He thinks he's old. 2, he thinks he's uneducated. And 3, he thinks he's poor. And what is he asking for? He says, you think I could have peace in my life? You think that's such a luxury? I'll get to why I'm giving you this analogy. It's not really an analogy, this is really what happened. And then, a few weeks ago, a man who was quite articulate, very well educated, and quite rich, and young, was also standing there asking me exactly the same thing. Do you think I could have peace? And it hit me. You see, we are playing a little game, and we're saying, oh, all those people who have really simple lives, they're in peace. And all those people who really do have those simple lives are looking at the other ones and going, you know, all those super rich and super complicated and super this and super that, they have peace. It's one of these unspoken formulas. You know who has peace? Oh, those simple ones. They're going, you know who has peace? all those rich ones. The secret is out. Neither nor. Both want it. Both want it. Why do both want it? This is not a thirst that is created. This is inherent to every human being. I have been from country to country and I have seen cultures change. I have seen people try to be different. I am so and so, I am so and so, I am so and so, I am so and so. And yet I have seen a remarkable similarity amongst every single person. Who are you? I go to people and I say to them, ask yourself this question, who are you? Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Ask yourself the question, who are you? Who are you? Who are you that lives in this incredible place? Who are you in whom the most magnificent gift of this breath comes and goes? Who are you that can imagine? Who are you that can think? Who are you that can feel? Who are you that can understand? Who are you that can question? Who are you that can answer? Who are you? Who are you? You are here. And that means something. You are here. And of all the accomplishments that you can accomplish, there is one more. And that one more has something to do with you, not about this world. Generations will, down the road, they will look at us and they will scrutinize us. Of course, like we do. My goodness, the documentaries they're going to make. And the things they're going to say, and they all carried this little box around that kept beeping and beeping and beeping. And amazing that whenever they gathered, one of the announcements that was made is turn that box off. And it was all the places they gathered, movie theaters and the big gatherings, turn it off. And they talked. And they're going to look at us, and they're going to look at our wars, and they're going to look at our failures, and they're going to look at our success, and they're going to say, oh, they were so excited when they got to the moon. Ha, so sweet. And then, will they say, and one most important thing that they pursued in their lives was peace. The face of peace has not changed. It has nothing to do with technology. It was talked about by the Greeks, it was talked about by the Romans, it was talked about by the Indians. The idea of people being in a state where they feel real joy. Real joy is different. There is a forced smile and there is a natural smile. There is a difference, and you know the difference. When you are obliged to show your teeth and go, how are you? Especially to a person who looks like he's walking towards you. And you are running your little computer at 2 gigahertz per second, trying to say, who is this person? Do I know him? Have I seen him before? What's his name? And as he gets closer, you look at him and smile, and then he passes you to a person on the other side, and then you feel stupid. But I'm not talking about that. You know when that smile is real. The expression of frustration is distinctly different because this is how you are manufactured. This is your programming. The expression of frustration is distinctly different than the expression of joy. What do you want? The expression of peace is distinctly different than the expression of anger, of conflict. Self-conflict is a war that rages, and when it is brought to that end, something beautiful can begin to happen. And to bring it to an end, only one thing can, and that one thing happens to be the individual peace, felt and understood. This is such a noble effort being made. Small, but nobleness is not measured in large and small. That is not a valid measurement of nobleness. The effort being made to reach to people, to bring them something. A benefit so that in their lives they can have something which is considered a very basic need. It is wonderful. It is incredible. More of that effort needs to be made in so many fields. And one more. And that field is the field of peace. Peace. Personal peace. The time has come. The time is here to do it. It is incumbent upon our generation and generations to follow, to pick up this banner and to bring peace to this world. This is a subject that is very, very close to me. 3 years, you stand in front of people and you speak. What can you say? Be happy. Be content. Be in joy. I'm so fortunate that even today, 40 years after, I'm still saying that since I have been doing this. That be happy. Be in joy. This is your life. Your life. Your responsibility. Your understanding. So, it is wonderful to be able to come and speak to you today about this subject, a subject very close to me, close to my heart. And thank you very much for the opportunity of being here today. And I want to thank everyone once again. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem Rawat, for your inspiring words. I think I speak for all of us here today when I say that you have given us much to take home with us, much to consider as we go about the business of helping other people, and most of all, I guess, as we go about the business of helping ourselves in our daily lives. Thank you. Now, we reach a very special moment in this afternoon event, the presentation of financial support to our two featured initiatives, and we will also witness the presentation of a very special award. To oversee this part of the program, I would like to introduce to you a woman who is a well-known philanthropist and a dedicated environmentalist who calls the world her home. Please help me welcome the president of the Prem Rawat Foundation, Linda Pascotto.
Thank you, Carlos. It's really, truly a pleasure for me to be here today. This is just such a wonderful audience, and to be able to hear such inspiration and such informative addresses, it's really, truly a pleasure for me. And what makes this occasion so particularly special is that today, the Prem Rawat Foundation has the exciting opportunity to help people who are really in need and to improve the quality of their lives in some way. We are proud to be able to contribute to the Community Water Initiative of the United Nations Development Program and to help the National Council of Women of the United States further their efforts to bring water to the people in villages in Ghana. We trust that the support provided by the Foundation to these noble efforts will very rapidly materialize into wells, bringing fresh, clean water where it is most needed. Prem Rawat and Mary Singletary, please come up.
Thank you very, very much. I am very excited about this experience, and I hope it happens again soon.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Director of the Capacity Development Group within the Bureau for Development Policy of UNDP. We are honored to have him here today to receive this donation. Please welcome Terrence Jones.
That's certainly the largest check I will ever receive. Prem Rawat, it gives me special pleasure to extend also my welcome to you, to the House of Peace, and also to your family. Very pleased to see your wife and daughter here. And to so many of your supporters, and of course to the officials of your very fine foundation. It's also a great pleasure to welcome Mary Singletary and her colleagues in the National Council of Women of the United States, and a key partner in this effort that we are celebrating this afternoon to bring water and sanitation to so many thousands of people in Ghana. So very much this event this afternoon, where we acknowledge with deep gratitude the contribution from the Prem Rawat Foundation to the Community Water Initiative managed by the United Nations Development Programme, and in particular this contribution to Ghana. It is indeed an acknowledgement that we all must make that effort to see these goals realized in the lives of all those individuals. It is not my mandate to talk this afternoon of peace, but clearly having access to those basic human rights puts us well on the road to achieving the goals expressed by Prem Rawat in his deliberation this afternoon on peace being within each of us. And that indeed is a strong message from my colleagues in West and Central Africa, where there are many concerns with violent conflict, with war, and other forms of violence and conflict that affect the ability of individuals and families to lead normal and peaceful lives. So that indeed is fundamental to our work these days, is not only to deliver those human rights, but to do so in a manner which contributes to sustainable peace and development. So therefore, let me join others in thanking Prem Rawat and his colleagues in the Foundation for this generous contribution to forwarding the program for clean water in the remote areas of Ghana. And we hope you will count upon this as another star in your constellation of successes in bringing relief and development to so many peoples around the world. And on the behalf of the United Nations Development Programme and my colleagues here today especially, thank you again for bringing so much joy and peace to so many people in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. The final surprise we have for you this afternoon is the presentation of a prestigious award by the National Council of Women of the United States. Mary Singletary, may I invite you back to the stage.
I am very pleased and honored to have the opportunity to make this very special National Council of Women's Award for Distinguished International Humanitarian Achievement to our great leader here today, Prem Rawat. May I share with you a famous African quote that was very emotional for me. During a thank you and appreciation commission celebration for water wells built in a village, the village chief emphasized in his remarks the quote, "He who brings water brings life." May I say to you and to the foundation today, he who brings water brings life. With the gift that you and your contributors have made possible, you are bringing life to many families in Ghana, especially babies and small children, and for a healthier life for women and their families, who would have otherwise died or be continuously ill from the bacteria and the contaminated water they must drink. You are improving the lives of older women and young girls who must walk miles to fetch water that's contaminated from the streams or river for their daily water needs. This gift will go on bringing life, saving life, and improving life in these villages every day for many years. I know that you have traveled to Ghana to share your message with people there, and I'm sure you have experienced the firsthand warmth in their hearts. I hope when people hear your name in connection with the new water wells we will build, that it will remind them of your message and how precious it is to be alive. I know that you have many students in Ghana, and the next time you go there, you will be able to visit villages with water wells that the generosity of your foundation made possible. In presenting this award to you today, we honor the tradition of humanitarian actions demonstrated by the founders of the National Council of Women of the United States, which we strive to continue today. We are honored this evening because of your work and global experiences and your profound humanitarian action. In addition to sharing your inspirational message of hope with everyone who cares to listen. As President of the National Council of Women, I am proud to present this distinguished humanitarian award to Prem Rawat. May I describe this to you? This world globe describes how international he is, and as he travels around the world. And it reads, Distinguished International Humanitarian Award to Prem Rawat Maharaja, in recognition of outstanding leadership, profound commitment, and exceptional contribution to the quality of life for women, children, and families, and for the inspirational global influence of your message. Peace comes when we begin to look within. We thank you for your humanitarian efforts and your financial support of the Water Well Initiative in Ghana, West Africa. Mary E. Singletary, President, National Council of Women of the United States, United Nations, New York, April 21st, 2006.
This brings us to the conclusion of our time together this afternoon. It has been a very inspiring and rewarding day for me personally, and I know I speak on behalf of my colleagues at UNDP's Community Water Initiative, Global Environment Facilities Small Grants Program, and the National Council of Women of the United States when I say how pleased we are with support of the Prem Rawat Foundation. This kind of support helps us to continue to make a difference in the lives of thousands of people in developing nations around the world, and hopefully will inspire more contributions so that we can expand our work. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for joining us at the United Nations to celebrate Water for Humanity and Peace. I will close today's program with the wish and the hope that you may continue to give so that you may continue to receive in abundance. Thank you.